So I am currently in desktop VRChat, and VRChat has added to the open beta of VRChat Plus a way to track your hands, the movement of your hands, and have both eye movement and mouth movement with your webcam. And so I'm just like testing this out. Finally got a chance to test this out, and I don't think I'm primarily a VR user, so I don't really have a need for this when doing like VRChat normally. But this is like a really great option for people who don't have VR and want to have some sort of like tracking with their hands, or like even if you have VR, this might be a good like alternative for different purposes. I don't know how well this would work for VTubing, because VTubing is something I do as well, but I use VC Face whenever I'm doing my VTubing and not in VR. And then I have Leap Motion, which I don't make use of that often, but I have a device called Leap Motion that I use for hand tracking as well. But this just uses your webcam primarily. And I know for VTubing, there's different apps that exist out there, and a lot of people have had to utilize like the iPhone camera and their phone cameras and everything like that in order to get any sort of like facial or hand tracking. There's a lot of different options out there. However, the cool thing about having this in VRChat specifically is like there are already like plenty of things you could do, a lot of crazy shit that you can do in VRChat already, right? And having this with being able to use it in desktop and not just specifically in VR for VTubing purposes is really cool. Like, it is actually something way back when I first started streaming with a VTuber avatar. I actually used VRChat to do it. I would go in a space, like a world where I could do green screen and just kind of like take out the background. And I would have my like VR headset kind of like situated in a way where I just used it as like a mic, and then I kind of had the controllers on me and stuff. I had a weird setup for it to just VTube and stream using the VR headset, and eventually like I had to switch to VC Face, because if you're trying to stream video games and you're doing VR, you also have the VR headset, you're in VRChat, it's, you know, you have a lot of resources being used. So it wasn't like ideal it wasn't ideal to use it as a method for VTubing. But now with this, depending on how well this is, because I notice, let me back up here, I think I have to be, I'm kind of close to my desk. I will say like the hand tracking isn't too bad. I have a like a Logitech 10, like a I forgot the model, but it's a Logitech webcam 1080p. And this hand tracking is pretty decent. This also, I guess the cool thing too is like this method gets your arms, but you notice how it just eventually the tracking sort of like kicks out when you raise your hands up. Like I'm trying to raise my hands up to a certain point, but then it kicks out. So I guess it just depends on the positioning of your webcam. The face tracking, however, well, it's mainly just tracking my eyes, I think. Like moving my head here. Oh yeah, I mean, because normally you wouldn't need it for the mouth, because the microphone is going to determine like how your mouth moves because of iSims and stuff that are like built into the avatar, especially if you made your own avatar or did like a avatar port. That stuff's usually built in, and so depending on like, you know, what you say, that influences how your mouth moves. But this, because I could just use my webcam now with desktop VRChat, and I can move my head. And then my eyes, which is something I have the Index headset. This is something I can't even do with the Index VR headset. I don't have eye tracking. There are some VR headsets that do have eye tracking. I think some of the Vibes. I don't know if there are any other ones. More intricate mouth tracking is something you do with some of the headsets or attachments for those headsets, but it's not something you do with Index, unless you have like, you know, an attachment for it. But yeah, this is interesting. I don't know how well this is gonna work for VTubing. Like I'd have to, the thing is, I mean, it's definitely gonna be less resource intensive than trying to be actually have VRChat running and also have the index running and also streaming and playing games at the same time. Just having the desktop version of this open and using the tracking, I think will work. The only downside to this is you're basically subscribing. You have to subscribe to VRChat Plus in order to even use this. It's in the open beta right now, so I'm sure it's going to be released eventually, but it's not going to be free to use, so you know, you do have to pay a certain amount a month to be able to use this, which is unfortunate. It is pretty cool though, so I have to decide if this would be like worth it. I'm already paying VRChat Plus for all the other benefits, so we'll see what happens. I guess this would be like a neat little bonus. I notice here the finger movement. The finger movement's pretty decent too. Yeah. Yeah, this is, I think, even compared to the leap motion that I have, it's just a bit better. Let's see if I could do that. Can I do... Yeah, I could do different head. Can we do this motion? Can we do this one? Yeah, it's funny because I can't even, with the index controllers, for some gestures, I can't even do them, like, properly. Just because the grip part on my index controller is a little funky sometimes, so... But yeah, this is just cool. If you're interested in trying this yourself, I mean, it just... Pop them, you gotta have the... Opt in the open beta of VRChat before you open it. Open up the desktop version, have a webcam that's... I don't know if you need a decent webcam for this. Maybe one that's, you know, not too crusty, so it can actually, like, you know, the camera can actually see your movement. And then, of course, you gotta have VRChat Plus in order to try this. So, I don't know. It's really cool. Really cool.